Climbers? Antoine Wade here from Elevate to the Unknown, the Way Report, and NextGenHikes.com. And it is Monday, March 2nd, 2026, 7:30 a.m. Central, and we are live on the Daily Climb, guys. 3. That's the number for today. And it is not a dollar figure. It is not a layoff count. It is 3 forces hit this economy at the exact same time this weekend. Force number 1, war. On Saturday, the United States and Israel launched airstrikes on Iran. The supreme leader was killed. Oil surged 10% overnight. Stock futures are tanking as I speak to you guys right now. Force number 2, AI confirmation. On Friday, Wall Street rewarded a company for firing half of its workforce. The stock went up 20%. The message cannot be more clear. Force number 3, inflation. Thursday's producer price data came in at more than double what economists expected. Rate cuts just got pushed back again. Okay? 3 forces, guys. Ain't that something? Any one of these forces would change your career planning. All 3 at once? Well, this is the most important Monday morning of 2026. Today, I'm going to break down every single one of these stories, what they mean for the job market and what they mean for your paycheck, and exactly what moves to make this week. Guys, this is the Daily Climb. I'm Antoine Wade. Let's get to work. But before we get to the work, you know I got to say what's up to the people in the house. Good to see you, Big Suggs. Good to see the life of Cam, first one in the house. Good to see you, Aisha. Good to see you, Aisha. I'm going to be setting up a call with you this week. Good to see you, Dan Smitty's in the house. Good to see you, Topaz. All y'all in the house. Sandra's in the house. Sandra's moving. Douglas is in the house. We got Listen More, Talk Less in the house. We got Dance Measures in the house. Good to see Gifty is in the house as well. Nike is in the house. Aquarius Vibe is in the house. My man Ant Dog coming to us from Houston is in the house. Serato Inspires is in the house. Good to see you, Serato. Sarita, that's what it is. It's Sarita in the house. Jilly Mella is in the house as well too, guys. Let's get to the data. I got a good show for you guys this morning. Let's jump into it right away. Let's talk about the war economy. I'm going to start with what everybody woke up to this weekend. War. On Saturday morning, the United States and Israel launched coordinated military strikes on Iran. This is the largest military operation in the Middle East since the invasion of Iraq in 2003. The strikes, they hit Tehran, they hit Asafan, they hit Qom, nuclear facilities, missile launchers, air defenses, and regime leadership. Iran's supreme leader was confirmed killed in an airstrike on Tehran. Israel deployed over 200 fighter jets, hit more than 500 military targets, dropped over 1,200 bombs in 24 hours. The U.S. sent B-2 stealth bombers to hit underground missile sites. Now, that's what happened from the war zone. But here's where it hits your wallet, okay? Because you know when something like this happens, it's going to hit your wallet. The Straits of Hormuz, 1/5 of the world's crude oil flows through that waterway. As of Sunday night, shipping traffic through the strait dropped 40 to 50%. 240 ships clustered near the waterway, unable to move. Oil prices. Brent crude surged to around $80 a barrel. That is up 10% from Friday. WTI crude jumped to $72 and $73. Barclays is warning if this escalates, we could see $100 oil. I want to share with you guys a video on CNBC about the price of oil and the escalation that is going on right now in the Middle East. Check this out.
Straight to CNBC's Brian Sullivan first for the latest on oil. Brian, we got a big reaction, especially when it comes to Brent crude here. And you're actually making a very important point that it's not just about the oil infrastructure. It's really about the leadership question in Iran.
Yeah, who's going to run the country and how are they going to perceive the United States and the West? That will ultimately determine what exactly happens here. I'm going to say that reaction in the price of Brent crude oil, it's up about 12% to 81.38, kind of right in line with analysts' expectations. Now, we did not see the worst case scenario. There were people out there that said, well, maybe we're going to go to $100 on Brent. And we very well could if the Strait of Hormuz is unpassable for days or weeks on end. But right now, in WTI traded crude here in the United States, going up about the same. Again, that's pretty much what we expected. You also want to look at stocks like XOM, Exxon, Chevron, CVX. We want to look at Shell, some of the global majors like BP, Petronas, where you guys are located in Asia as well. Those are the names that would determine sort of how the market is reacting. I'm going to say this, Sherry and Martin, this reaction here, while certainly a sizable move for oil, and I'm not going to discount that, is not as big as the move that we had 7 years ago when there was strikes on what they call Abqaiq, which is a facility in Saudi Arabia. It's the start of a big refinery and a pipeline, Abqaiq. That was a 14% move.
You heard it. Now let me show you what's going on in the markets, okay? Because, of course, oil is being impacted, but the Dow futures is down 564 points. S&P down 1.1%. NASDAQ down 1.5%. Gold hit $5,376 an ounce. That's a 4-week high. Up 25% this year alone. Investors are running to safety. I want you guys to type war in the chat if this changes your career planning for 2026. We didn't have war as part of our career strategy in 2026, guys. We didn't have it in there. Now it's happened. We have to factor that into the data. Now, here's why this matters for your career. When oil spikes, everything gets more expensive. Gas prices goes up. Transportation costs goes up. Companies that were already cutting costs will cut harder. But some sectors, guess what? They win during wartime. What are those sectors? You guys know. Put it in the chat. Defense contractors, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, RTX, General Dynamics. Those companies are about to see accelerated hiring and bigger budgets. The energy sector, higher oil prices means higher margins. Pipeline operators, refinery workers, field engineers, all in demand. Cybersecurity, another one. Iran is one of the most dangerous cyber nations on earth. And right now, our top cyber defense agency, CISA, is curtailed because the Department of Homeland Security is in a shutdown. Day 16 of it. Impacting people on this call, like Big Suggs. This isn't abstract for our community. One of our members was stationed in Bahrain. He still knows people there right now. Iran retaliated with strikes on Bahrain this weekend. This is real, guys. If you work in the defense or energy or cybersecurity, this is your moment. If you work in travel, retail, logistics tied to the Middle East, start building a contingency plan. I want you guys to type signal in the chat if you see money moving to the defense and energy sectors. Okay? We're just getting started, guys. If you want this kind of analysis every single day, subscribe to the channel right now and hit that notification bell. We do this every single weekday morning at 7:25 to 7:30 a.m. Central. Now, oil is up. Futures are down. But here's the thing. The war isn't even the biggest career story from the weekend. Because on Friday, Wall Street sent the clearest signal yet about AI in your job. Stay with me on this next segment, guys. And we talked about it last week, but I want to dive deeper into it. Let me show you what happened on Friday. Okay. We covered the layoff announcement on Thursday. 4,000 people at Block. 40% of their workforce gone. What we did not cover is what Wall Street did on Friday. Block closed at $63, up 16%, 16.3% in a single day, up over 20% from Thursday's close. Crazy, huh? Wall Street did not just accept the layoffs. Wall Street rewarded them. And it wasn't just Block. The entire software sector got hammered on Friday. The IGV software ETF dropped 10% for the month of February. Salesforce gave back its Thursday gains. Zscaler dropped 12%. Microsoft fell more than 2%. The message is clear. Companies that fire workers get rewarded on Wall Street. Companies that employ them get punished. That's not my opinion. That's the market data right now. I want to share a video with you guys. Check this out.
Let's get to more on Block. Those shares are, as Mike said, jumping today after the company slashed its workforce by nearly half. Mackenzie Sigalos joins us with more on that story. Hey, Mac.
Hey, Leslie. So this is one of the most dramatic restructurings that we have seen in tech. Block cutting 40% of its staff of 10,000, and CEO Jack Dorsey is directly attributing the move to AI. On the earnings call last night, he called this a fundamental shift in how you build and run a company.
Intelligence tools have changed what it means to build and run a company. We're already seeing it internally. A significantly smaller team using the tools we're building can do more and do it better. And intelligence tool capabilities are compounding faster every single week. I don't think we're early to this realization. I think most companies are late. Within the next year, I believe the majority of companies will reach the same conclusion and make similar structural changes. I'd rather get there honestly and on our own terms than be forced into it reactively.
Now, investors bought into that message immediately. The stock jumped after hours. It's still up around 16% right now, even though the quarter itself was mostly in line. And that reaction was helped by the fact that Block is still growing from a fundamentally solid position. Gross profit and Cash App both surged. Full year profit guidance beat estimates. So investors are getting the margin expansion that they wanted. But what really stands out here is that you don't usually see cuts this deep from a company that's already profitable and still putting up healthy growth. And that's exactly why this lines up so closely with Citrini's thesis. AI-driven headcount reductions are likely to show up first at strong software companies, not distressed ones, because those are the businesses where the tools are actually mature enough to start replacing work at scale.
Joining us, Tom Lee, Fundstrat Global Advisor.
Insane, huh? Now, here's where it gets deeper. Business Insider got inside the building. They talked to 7 former Block employees, guys. 7 former employees. And what they found should make every worker in America pay attention. The workers at Block were using AI. One of them described the culture around AI tools as almost celebratory. They were embracing it. They were building with it. They were doing everything the experts tell you to do, everything I tell you to do. They still got fired. One of them said this, quote, "I was actively building with AI and know that many of the impacted colleagues were doing the same." Let that sink in. Using AI is not layoff insurance. One engineer said his team went from 8 people to 1. 8 people to 1. A professor at Georgetown said something important. He said Block must have found some secret formula because executives across dozens of industries are not seeing these kind of gains from AI outside of software development. And a professor who has studied corporate downsizing for decades, said a typical layoff is about 10%. Anything above 25% is extreme. Block cut 40%. He called it, quote, double extreme. Now here's the other side. A former director of the National Economic Council went on CNBC on Friday and said the one metric companies can show investors is, quote, we've cut heads, end quote. That's the metric going forward. He then said he doesn't actually believe that's the truth, meaning some of these companies are using AI as a justification for cuts that are really about stock price. And a CEO whose company actually deploys AI agents for customer service said most organizations ramping up AI are in fact hiring, not firing. Companies that make AI work sometimes expand their teams because AI helps them sell more. I want you guys to type confirm if you see Wall Street telling companies to fire more people. Got to think about it. If you are people for letting people go, if you are rewarding companies for letting people go, what do you think others are going to do? What do you think others are going to do? They're going to follow suit, right? If I reward you for bad behavior, you're going to continue the bad behavior. That's why parenting has gone the way it has, because bad behavior gets applauded sometimes. Well, here's the thing. I don't know if it's bad behavior for companies to do that, because they're acting on the behalf of the shareholders. If you are a shareholder, you may be applauding this. That's just the analyst take. It's not my take. This is the analyst take. Now, here's what matters for you, okay? Here's what matters for you. On Friday during this live stream, one of our community members typed something in the chat that stopped me after I got a chance to read it. A 14-year transactional attorney said AI is now better than him at his own job. No cap. But here's the difference. He said he didn't wait for a memo. He didn't wait for a layoff email. He pivoted to training AI, and now he makes more than 90% of attorneys in his region. The block workers use AI as a tool within their job. This community member turned AI into his entire business model. That's the difference between using AI and repositioning for AI. And the Amazon CEO, he went on CNBC on Friday and said this: a lot of the jobs that we've known and we've thrown human beings at for the last 20 or 30 years, you won't need as many human beings doing those same jobs. He also mentioned a coding startup called Vercel. They trained an AI agent to do sales. Then they cut their 10-person sales team down to 1. 10 to 1. 8 to 1 at Block. The pattern is undeniable. Now, Block stock went up. Software stocks went down. But there's a third story from Friday that connects both of these, and it's hiding in a $2 trillion shadow banking system most people have never even heard of. Stay with me on this next segment, okay? Told you guys, this is going to be a good show today, man. This is a story that nobody's talking about, but it could be bigger than both the war and the layoffs. There is a $2 trillion financial system called private credit. Most people don't know it even exists, but it funds a massive chunk of corporate America. And guess what? It's cracking. Here's the simple version. Over the last few years, private credit firms lent hundreds of billions of dollars to software companies. Business was booming. Interest rates were good. Software companies were growing. It seemed like a safe bet. Then AI happened. Now those same software companies are getting their business models destroyed. Block fired 40%. WiseTech fired 30%. The entire software sector lost 10% in 1 month. Ain't that something, huh? If the software companies can't repay their loans, the funds that lent to them can't pay their investors. If investors try to withdraw their money, the funds face a liquidity crisis. That's exactly what happened. A firm called Blue Owl Capital halted redemptions in its flagship fund, then executed a $1.4 billion fire sale of assets. On Friday, Apollo Global dropped 8.6%. Jefferies dropped 9%. For the year, Ares Management down 31%, Blue Owl down 29%, Blackstone down 27%, Apollo down 26%. One of the most famous bankers in America reportedly used the word cockroaches to describe what might be hiding in private credit. Meaning if you see one problem, there are many more that you don't see. I want you guys to type shadow in the chat if you didn't know about the $2 trillion private credit market. Type shadow in the chat. This is why you come to this show, to get educated, to understand exactly what's happening in the world and how it impacts your career. Well, here's the career impact. If you work at a company that was bought by private equity or has significant debt from private credit, check your employer's financial health. Companies with heavy debt and AI disruption risk are the most vulnerable to sudden layoff announcements. And if private credit stress spreads, it tightens lending across the entire economy. Companies that need debt to fund hiring will find it harder and more expensive to borrow. That slows job creation everywhere. 3 forces. War, pushing oil up. AI, pushing jobs down. Private credit, cracking in the shadows. And if you thought the Federal Reserve might save us with rate cuts, Thursday's inflation data just took that hope off the table. Stay with me on this next segment. Let me show you the inflation data. The Bureau of Labor Statistics released the January Producer Price Index on Thursday. Here's what the numbers show. PPI came in at plus 5% month over month. The estimate was 0.3. Core PPI came in at plus 0.8%. The estimate was 0.3. More than double what economists expected. The largest monthly jump since the middle of 2024. Now add war on top of this. Oil was sitting around $67 on Friday. This morning, it sat 72 to 73. Brent is at 80. If the Strait of Hormuz closes for any extended period, we lose 8 to 10 million barrels per day. That could send oil to $100 a barrel or higher. Now, what does $100 oil mean for your career? Gas prices goes up. Transportation costs go up. Companies that were already cutting costs will cut harder. Hiring freezes in consumer business, travel, retail, hospitality, all under pressure. The Federal Reserve cannot cut rates in this environment. March rate cut probability, 6%. June is now only 59%. Here's the big picture to individual paycheck connection. If oil spikes, inflation reaccelerates. If inflation reaccelerates, the Fed can't cut rates. If rates stay high, companies borrow less and invest less in hiring. If companies aren't hiring and they're using AI to replace existing workers, that's the 4.5% unemployment scenario. Squeezed. I know that was heavy. But this is the Daily Climb. We don't just tell you the problems. We show you where the opportunities are. And right now, there are more opportunities than I've seen in months. I want to show you, okay? First, defense and cybersecurity. Iran is one of the most dangerous cyber nations on earth. CISA, our top cyber defense agency, is curtailed right now. Defense contractors are surging. CompTIA, Security Plus, CISSP, Certified Ethical Hacker. Those certifications are your ticket into this space. If you have any tech background, cybersecurity is hiring right now and will hire more as this conflict develops. Second, certifications are on sale right now. I got to tell you about this. The Google Cloud just announced free virtual training on March 11th and 12th. Attend the 2-day session and you get a free exam voucher for their generative AI leader certification. That's 9 days away. Register now before spots fill up. Okay? 9 days. AWS has a generative AI developer professional certificate in beta right now. Deadline is March the 31st. If you're one of the first 5,000 to pass, you get an early adapter badge. I said adopter, excuse me. You use both words, I guess. The other one is Cisco Networking Academy. It's offering free premium courses for all 2026. DevNet Associate, CyberOps Associate. 3 courses normally cost thousands of dollars. They are free the entire year. Oracle's AI Foundation certification, it is always free. Completed in a weekend. Many people in our community have already done so. One of our community members just got promoted this week. You know what was on his resume? The Oracle AI certification, the same free cert that I've been telling you guys about. That is what positioning looks like. Third, skilled trades in data center infrastructure. 12,000 data centers exist right now. 3,000 more are planned. They all need high voltage electricians, HVAC specialists, liquid cooling technicians. These jobs pay $250,000 or more, and AI cannot do them. A legendary investor went on a podcast this week and said something that I want you guys to hear. He said that the people most at risk of losing their jobs to AI are the ones sitting idle in a job without any purpose. People chasing a safe paycheck in an industry they don't care about. He called them, quote, ripe for disruption. But he also said this: be the most AI aware person in your job, and you're going to be the last person they want to get rid of. AI is like jet fuel. It can expand what you're capable of, but you got to use it. And check this out. Disney, one of your favorite companies, they just posted a job for a vice president of workforce of the future. Salary range, $284,000 to $348,000. The role is about defining how AI in Disney's entire workforce adapt to AI and emerging technology. That job didn't exist 2 years ago. These new roles are being created right now. And if you want the exact roadmap for how to make these moves, which certifications to stack, which sectors to target, how to build documentation that proves your value, download the 2026 Career Protection Playbook. It is free. Link is in the description, okay? Check it out. It's a fantastic playbook, and it gives you everything that we just covered in a framework that you can actually use. Your risk zone for AI automation, the 5 skills that actually matter in 2026, a 30-day quick start action plan, a weekend action plan with 5 specific moves, plus the Daily Climb newsletter delivered Monday through Friday at 11:30 a.m. Central. The professionals who survive 2026 are not waiting for permission. They are building career insurance right now. Go ahead and download it. It is absolutely free. Link is in the description, okay? Guess what, man? The playbook, it shows you what to do. It's a playbook. You know how you give a playbook on football plays or basketball plays? You got it. Now you know what to do. You know where people are supposed to run. You know the routes. You know the route tree. Well, guess what? There's nobody that holds you accountable for making sure that you practice the plays. Guess what I've done, though? I built the Career Accelerator 90, and it's me making sure that you actually do the work. 12 weeks, small group, maximum of 12 people, weekly Saturday coaching calls at 10 a.m. Central, private Discord community, 30 plus templates and AI execution agents. We've covered 3 forces hitting your career at the same time today: war, AI displacement, inflation. Inside the Career 90, the Career Accelerator 90, We build the exact strategy to navigate all three. We start March the 14th, 11 spots. Guess what, guys? We have less than 2 spots left. I was able to fill 11 spots, and I'm accepting another one. So 2 spots left. All right. Go to nextgenheights.com/accelerator. Join the group. Link is in the description, okay? And if you want the deeper intelligence every single week, the salary databases, the pivot playbooks, the certification stacking strategies, our community is already sharing real gig platforms, paying $35 to $45 an hour for research and analytical work. And the entire interview process is run by AI. If you're not in our Patreon, you are missing this kind of intel. Join the Patreon, www.patreon.com/BlackHeights. Link is in the description. I just gave you guys the sectors that's hiring. I just gave you guys the certifications that matter. And let me show you 2 stories that tie everything that we just covered into one conversation, okay? Stay with me on this next segment. Let's go to some case studies. Case studies come from the Business Insider. You guys know where I get my news from in the mornings. A 42-year-old former creative executive. She built the content team at Snapchat. She led content strategy at an animation studio. Then her company pivoted to become an AI studio and laid off half the staff. She has sent hundreds of applications since then. Endless ghosting. Endless ghosting. She told a reporter, "I really felt embarrassed when I showed up to work the first day and put on my name tag. It's very shocking. Like I just fell off a cliff and I have no flashlight." She's now working retail to make ends meet. 15 years of experience, and AI devalued it overnight. I want you guys to type real in the chat if you know someone going through this right now. This is what happened. This is happening to a lot of people these days. Business Insider is sharing this on a daily basis. I want to share with you guys another one. A 25-year-old marketing professional. She applied to jobs for a month. Hundreds of them. Hundreds of jobs. She got drained. Was doom scrolling on social media, watching other people complain about the job market. Then she changed her approach. Instead of sending another 100 applications, she cold emailed one CEO directly. She said, "I'm going to turn into a boss. All these people who are acting like they have the ability to hire me, they're not giving me any love. I'm going to go to the person that can potentially get me hired." So instead of sending hundreds of applications, she cold emailed one CEO directly. The subject line was, "My landlord inspired this email." She kept it personal. 150 words, short and sweet. She talked about her skills. She talked about her passion for the company's mission. She made it about them, not about her. The CEO responded within a week, set up an intro call, 2 more interviews, hired as a marketing manager. The first person mass applied and got ghosted. The second person personalized one outreach and got hired. Strategy beats volume every single time. Now, let me show you the story that shows where AI policy is headed. And it happened within 48 hours of the strikes on Iran. Okay? I want to share with you this. On Thursday, one of the biggest AI companies in the world refused the Pentagon's demand to allow unlimited military use of their technology. You guys know what that company is. You know who that company is because we talk about them quite often on this show. It's one of my favorite tools, but unfortunately that tool is down this morning. Who would have thunk of that? On Friday, you say, nah, we ain't messing with you like this, the United States military, the Pentagon, and Pete Hegseth. We're not giving in to your demands. On Monday morning, as soon as I'm prepping for the show, my Claude application goes down. What's going on, man? Can't open a new chat. And it happened at like 4:30 a.m. this morning. Claude was down. This isn't working right now is the message that we're getting. Check it out. This isn't working. My Claude isn't working, guys. It's insane. Let me see if Claude is still down. Yep, Claude is still down, guys. Elevated errors on Claude AI Work Console and Claude Code. Guess what the CEO said? The CEO said, we cannot in good conscience accede to their request, end quote. He specifically said their AI is not reliable enough to power fully autonomous weapons and that mass surveillance of Americans goes against democratic values. That's what was said. That's what was said. And check this out. Guess what Trump did? Trump ended the federal use of Anthropic's AI technology on the same day. Check it out.
Breaking news on discussions between Anthropic, the AI company, and the Pentagon over military use of the company's AI. Now, Pentagon officials yesterday sent Anthropic their best and final offer. But Anthropic refused, saying it cannot in good conscience grant the military unrestricted access to its technology. Just hours before the government's 5 p.m. deadline, the president weighing in on social media. Trump said, quote, the United States of America will never allow a radical left woke company to dictate how our great military fights and wins wars. That decision belongs to your commander in chief and the tremendous leaders I appoint to run our military. The left-wing nut jobs at Anthropic have made a disastrous mistake trying to strong-arm the Department of War and force them to obey their terms of service instead of our Constitution.
The Trump response was immediate. The company was called a radical left woke company. Man, I didn't know I was using a radical left woke company's software. I love it though, man. I love me some Claude. But every federal agency was ordered to stop using their technology. The Pentagon labeled them a supply chain risk to national security, a designation normally reserved for companies tied to foreign adversaries. Hours later, their biggest competitor swooped in and signed a deal with the Pentagon. Look at that. You ain't gonna do it, so guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. Guess who that rival company was? OpenAI. Now here's why this matters for your career. The timing is critical. One AI company refused the Pentagon on Thursday. By Saturday, we were at war with Iran. The question of whether AI should power military operations just went from theory to reality. If you work in AI and want government contracts, the companies that sign those deals are hiring right now. Defense AI engineers, AI policy analysts, AI safety and compliance officers. The situation just created the role of AI vendor compliance officer for every defense contractor in America. I want you guys to type sides in the chat if you see the AI vendor war affecting career choices. But here's the other thing. It's affecting you from getting work done this morning because Claude is down this morning, guys. Who would have thought it? Man. Anthropic says, no. Today, they're down. And they've been down for over a couple hours now. I'm not going to give my opinion on this one. But it just seems to back to back. Check this out. Inside the Patreon community, we break down exactly which defense contractors are hiring for these roles, which certifications you need, and how to position yourself for a six-figure AI policy positions. Patreon.com/Black Heights. Link is in the description, okay? Let me give you the February 2026 final scorecard. Just started a new month. Yesterday was March the 1st. We're entering the last month of the first quarter. Got to put some more points on the board. I'm going to give you the February 2026 final scorecard. What did we do? What did we see? What did companies do? The Dow, plus 0.17%, barely positive. 10th straight monthly gain. S&P, minus 0.86%, in the red. The NASDAQ, minus 2.3%, worst month since March 2025. The software ETF IGV, down 10% for February alone. February told one complete story. AI infrastructure is booming. AI is destroying software jobs. The market rewards companies that fire humans. Inflation is sticky, and now war is here. And let me tell you what's coming up this week, because this might be the most important week for the job market since the pandemic. Today, ISM manufacturing data drops at 10 a.m. Eastern. We will see if factories are still expanding. On Tuesday, CrowdStrike, they release earnings. After the AI security shakeup, this is a must watch for cybersecurity. On Wednesday, ADP employment report. Consensus is 55,000 private jobs, down from January. And Broadcom earnings and AI chip demand beyond NVIDIA. On Thursday, Costco earnings, a consumer resilience test, weekly jobless claims. On Friday, the big one, the non-farm payrolls. Consensus is 60,000 jobs, way down from 150,000 in January. If the number comes in below 50,000, recession fears will explode. If it comes in above 150,000, the soft landing narrative gets a lifeline. I don't think it's going to be that at all. But we will see what the data says, okay? We will see what the data says. I want to share another video with you all.
Firm block surged 24% in extended trade after the company announced plans to lay off almost half its workforce. CEO Jack Dorsey pointed to AI, saying intelligence tools have, quote, changed what it means to build and run a company. Changed what it means to build and run a company.
AI tools change what it means to build and run a company. With those same tools, these companies are going to be downsizing, guys, at the end of the day. That also gives you an opportunity to build your own and to build products, to do the work that many of these companies are doing. Maybe you don't need the subscriptions that you have. Maybe you can build your own. I was talking in my Patreon this past week, and I'm like, why do I need Patreon now? I can build my own Patreon app. Why do I need school? I can build my own school app. It could be mine. I don't have to give a share to anybody. The Patreon, I don't have to give a share to school. I don't have to give a share to anybody. 3 takeaways from today's show, guys. Number 1, war changes the economic map. Defense, energy, cybersecurity, those are your safe harbors. Number 2, Wall Street confirmed the AI layoff playbook. They confirmed it. Okay. Block has proof, and Block was the proof. It wasn't a prediction. Using AI is not enough. You need to reposition your entire career around AI. Your career model, position it around AI. Number 3, the certification window was wide open. Google Cloud March 11th, AWS beta March 31st, Cisco free all year, Oracle free always. The moves are there. You got to make them. Every morning before the market opens, guess what I do? I give you guys a understanding of what to start your day with, the news, the data, the intelligence. You get all of that on this show. And at 11:30 a.m. Central, you get a full recap of it. The data, the stories, the strategy, straight into your inbox, Monday through Friday at 11:30 a.m. Central. The Daily Climb newsletter. Make sure you subscribe to it. It is absolutely free. Link is in the description. And if this show has helped you see the market differently today, make sure you hit the like button. Do it right now. Share this with someone who needs to hear this. Someone who's in software, someone who has a 401k, someone who's in corporate, someone who's in technology, someone who didn't know about the private credit crisis until right now. If you can't catch the live show every single morning, the newsletter is how you stay in the loop. Full breakdown every single weekday. And it is free. Link is in the description. And if you're new here and you haven't said anything to my peoples in the chat, you need to say hi to the community in the chat. They are fantastic people. Life of Cam will welcome you. Big Subs will welcome you. Darren will welcome you. Ant Dog will welcome you. Derek will welcome you. Anybody in the chat. Aisha will welcome you. Say hi. We don't bite. We're here every single morning. Give you guys the news. Give you guys the update. Give you guys the intelligence. It's not the news. It's the intelligence. Make sure you hit that bell. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so that you never miss a show, okay? I got one more video to play for you guys.
This morning, OpenAI now raising $110 billion in new funding. It values the company at $730 billion. Investors in the round include SoftBank, NVIDIA, and importantly, the biggest one now, Amazon, committing $50 billion in funding for this round. And the pair now announcing a new multi-year strategic partnership, which may reshuffle the landscape of AI all over again. Joining us now for a First on CNBC interview is Amazon CEO Andy Jassy and OpenAI CEO Sam Altman. Good morning to both of you on what appears to be a watershed transaction. Sam, I'll start with you. $110 billion, $730 billion valuation. But explain, if you could, how you think this deal shifts the balance. I was suggesting it shifts the balance in large part because the relationship you've had for so very long was with Microsoft. And now you have Amazon as well. And in certain cases, on an exclusive basis for a big part of the next push.
Good morning. Thanks for having us. We're super excited about this deal. We will continue to have a great relationship with Microsoft. We're excited to have a great relationship with Amazon. AI is going to happen everywhere. It's transforming the whole economy, and the world needs a lot of collective computing power to meet the demand. The world also needs a lot of new kinds of products, and we'll continue to do our work with Microsoft, but we're very excited about the new product work we'll do together with Amazon. And I think, as you said, it will be a great, very long-term partnership.
Breaking news. Go and check it out. Can't play the full video, but go and check it out. Tomorrow on the Daily Climb, the ISM manufacturing results from today. How markets actually reacted to day one of wartime trading. Whether the DHS shutdown finally gets resolved under the pressure of active military conflict. And the CrowdStrike earnings report. The economy is splitting. War on one side, AI on the other. Inflation squeezing the middle. But the crisis creates opportunity, guys. $500 billion in AI spending builds real things in real places with real workers. Defense contractors are hiring. Energy companies are hiring. Data centers need people. Cybersecurity needs people. The question is not whether opportunity exists. The question is whether you are positioned for it. Get the certifications. Pick your lane. Make your move. Your move matters. Keep climbing. This is the Daily Climb. I'm Antoine Wade, and we will see you guys on tomorrow's show. But before I get out of here, I want to go over to my chats, man. I want to see what's going on in the chats. Listen more, talk less. Good to see you. Shay Mesh 1 says, I watch daily for the real deal of what's going on in layman's terms. Vital info for small business owners. I love that, Shay. Ant Dog says, facts, the life of Cam. Big Suggs. Life of Cam says, guys, if you're new here, say hi. We want to learn about you, man. Iron Wolf Interactive Games. You all rock. I love it. Life of Cam says, Patreon isn't even mass adopted or utilized. Ain't that right? Claude Code is great at developing code and the interface is easy to use. It is a fantastic tool. Big Sug says, thanks, Antoine. Peace, ladder climbers. Be safe. Keep grinding. We definitely will, my man. We definitely will. STI says, great info and great show. Guys, I appreciate you all. Darren Smitty says, great show, Antoine. I appreciate it, brother. Going to have a good, fantastic Monday, y'all. Crush your Monday. Whenever you crush a Monday, it's a good start to the week. Everything else snowballs, okay? I will see you all tomorrow morning. Same time, 7:25 a.m. Central. And I'll bring you guys the latest news, okay? I appreciate each and every one of you. Gifty, Morgan. Good to see you, Morgan Jones. She said hi. Good to see you, Prescott. Douglas, listen more, talk less. I appreciate you guys. We will see you all tomorrow, okay? Bye-bye now.